Welcome to Chapter 3 and the only 3 sections we have to do in this particular chapter. Now, as you can see, I have 6 objectives to cover today, and I have about 39 slides. Hopefully, you can take part by part and work on each one of these. Now, you are going to find that Pearson is wanting to use what we call the block method when you solve equations, and I am going to show you how that works. We're also going to be translating, so if you have that nice little translation sheet, hopefully it's in your brain, you can still continue to use it. And we are going to go a little bit further than we've done translating into equations. And then we're going to talk about some rules of exponents. Now, there are 2 properties that we are going to be talking about. Now, this is known as the additive inverse property. Now, the inverse property takes a number and its opposite. And the key is that it's going to equal 0. Now, for example, if I have 5 plus blank equals 0, what is that number in the blank? It is going to be -5. If I'm given a negative number, such as -4, and I want to add a number to it to get 0, now, because I have the positive sign here, I am not going to put the second number in parentheses. I am just going to write the number 4 because a negative and a positive are going to give me 0. Notice they equal 0. Now, when we look at the second property that we're going to talk about today, this is called the identity. What it's saying is, if I take a number and add 0 to it, I'm going to get the same number. Well, here's some examples. If I take a positive 5 plus blank equals 5, hopefully I know this is 0 on the blank. If I do the opposite, -5 plus blank is equal to -5, I should know that on this blank, I'm adding 0. Notice, one property equals 0, one property uses 0. Now, why do we talk about these properties? Because these properties are kind of hidden inside the problem when we're asked to solve by either adding or subtracting. Now, this is that block method that I talked about. We are going to draw a line here. Now, this letter M is going to come down below the blank. This is where one of the properties we just had. We want to make the -11 go to the other side. Well, that is saying, what am I going to put here? I am going to put a positive 11 and a positive 11. The reason for that is we want to cancel these out. negative 11 plus what we put in the box has got to equal 0. Well, that's got to be a positive 11. But we then cancel those out, and then on the right side of the equal sign, we take 9 plus 11 to give me 20. My answer for this one is m is equal to 20. Now, I want to show you that sometimes they're going to ask you to check. Well, what that's saying is we are going to take this value 20 minus 11, and it better equal 9. This was my m that I had in the original equation. I'm replacing my answer with in the place where m appeared. Now, this check is up to you. Do you need to check it? No, but sometimes they say solve and check. This is the check. Now, here, okay, block method. Okay, I'm going to draw a line down here. Here's my equal sign. I have a box here, and they're going to put a box here. The reason is we need to eliminate this positive 14. What is going in the blank is negative 14 here, negative 14 here. This positive 14 and this negative 14 cancel out. And all I have left to the right of this equal sign is my A. These have canceled out using the additive inverse property. We're doing the opposite. Notice either adding or subtracting. Well, in front of the 14 is a positive. We do the opposite. And then on this side, I have a positive 46. And I have a negative 14. That is going down here, which means I'm subtracting. Positive 46, negative 14 is going to give me a positive 32. This is my answer. Now remember, if I want to check it, 46 is equal to, if I want to check it, 46 is equal to 32 plus 14. This was my A. I'm replacing it with 32, and it's correct. Now, we're going to get a little bigger. Okay? This one, I want you to notice, has these two together. Our first step is to combine those terms in yellow first, which means positive 5x and a negative 4x is going to give me a positive 1x. Now, do you have to write that 1? No, because remember, 1 is a number mathematicians write and sometimes they don't. And then I have negative 6 equals 14. I'm combining terms. The yellow terms get combined first. Now, block method. I have to put something below the -6 and something on the side underneath 14. But this x, 1x, just comes down. I am going to add 6 to both sides. This is canceling out, leaving me with my value of 20. And use block to finish. Okay, now we're going to get a little bigger. Okay. First step, combine the yellow terms on the left-hand side of the equal sign and combine the orange terms on the right-hand side of the equal sign. Okay, well, these are my yellow terms. Here's my equal sign. The yellow terms are going to give me a -4. Now, the right-hand side has a -7 and a negative or positive 12. This y is staying, but the yellow terms are going to give me a positive 5. This is my first step, combine terms. But this time I have them on both sides of the equal sign. I do the right side, then I do the left side, and then I finish it using what we call the block method. I'm going to draw a line down here. Here's my equal sign. The letter Y is coming straight down, but underneath the 5 and the -4, I have got to put -5 here, -5 here. Why -5? Because the letter had a positive 5. What's the opposite of the number with the variable? These are going to cancel out. And notice I don't write 0 down here next to the y. They canceled out. But on the left side, -4 plus -5 is -9. This is my answer. Okay. Now, this is asking you to add or subtract. Well, now we're going to get into a little more. We are going to be asked to multiply, or we're going to be asked to divide. Well, how do you know which one you're going to do? Well, look at the side that has the variable. What is putting the number and the variable together? Multiply. So we are doing the opposite, which is to divide. Now, in algebra, we divide by using what they call the fraction bar. This bar goes here, this bar goes here, and we are going to have boxes that Pearson is going to put here. you are taking this number 6, the number with the letter. That is going on the box on both sides. Now, 6y divided by 6 is going to give me 1y, but I don't write a 1. But on the other side, negative 42 divided by 6 is a negative 7. Now, if you want to check, 6 next to y has got to give me a negative 42. This negative 7, which is right here, is going inside parentheses because 6 next to a letter means multiply. Now, be careful of number 8. Okay. The first step, combine yellow terms on the left-hand side of the equal sign. Then combine yellow terms on the right-hand side of the equal sign. Well, this is where you have to be careful. This side is 6 parentheses x dot 5. This is not the distributive property. This is going to give us 30x. You are multiplying 6 times x times 5. No distribute. Okay. Now, on the right-hand side, okay, and that's this on the right-hand side, okay, and that's this side, the line in the middle means divide. 120 divided by 2 is 60. This is the left side. This is the right side. Now, to finish, what's putting 30 next to x? Multiply. So we're going to put the fraction bar, and underneath of the fraction bar, we are writing the number 30. Why 30? Because that's the number next to x. 30 divided by 30 gives me 1x. 60 divided by 30 is 2. Okay. Now we're going to put everything together. Okay. First, combine terms on the right side and combine terms on the left side. Okay. Well, the right side are these two terms. A negative 50 and a positive 10 is going to give me a negative 40. Oop, that's the left side. Oop. How about if I do this? I'm going to fix it. This is the right side. This is the left side. Okay. So over here on this right side, positive 6y and a negative 4y is going to give me 2y. I am dividing because 2 next to y means multiply. The 2 is coming here because 2 divided by 2 is 1y. But negative 40 divided by a positive 2 gives me a negative 20. This is my answer for y. And that's what the word solve means. Find what the variable means. Now we're going to get a little bigger. This one, before you can do this, distribute first, because I have a plus sign in the middle here. You see that plus sign? This means I'm distributing 6 times x plus 6 times 5 is 30 equals 48. Now I'm going to do block right below the 30 and right below the 48. I've got to get this 6x all by itself. So, second step, subtract 30 from both sides. This means that I'm going to put a negative 30 here and a negative 30 here. This is going to cancel out, which means I just got 0 behind 6x. But over here, I got a positive 18. To finish, I'm dividing by 6, which is x is equal to 3. Okay? So, my last step is to divide by 6, the number in front of the variable. Okay? 3 steps. Distribute. I'm subtracting because what is with 6x? A positive 30. What's the opposite? Negative 30. Okay. Now, let's go a little further. Okay, now, this one. There's a little more steps with this one. We are going to distribute first because I have a parentheses. This is going to give me 2x minus 10, because 2 times 5 is 10, plus 3x is equal to 22 plus 28. My second step is to combine terms on the right-hand side of the equal sign and then the left-hand side of the equal sign. Well, let's look and see what we got here. The left side is 2x and 3x. I'm combining those terms right here. That will give me 5x minus 10. And then I am going to go to the right side, minus 10. And then I am going to go to the right side. These two are going together here. This will give me 50. Now, my third step, add 10 to both sides. Why am I adding 10? Well, I'm going to draw a line right here. And remember, here's my equal sign. This 5x is coming down. But in the boxes here, I add 10, but I add 10 here. This and this must cancel out because I got to get 0 behind 5x. This will give me 60. And then my last step is to divide both sides by 5. Well, to divide both sides by 5, I put a fraction bar here and a fraction bar here. What's going in these boxes? The 5, the number with the variable. This and this I have to cancel out, leaving me with 1x is equal to 12. This is my answer. Now we're going to use equations to do some story problems. But these are going to require that you know vocabulary words. Now, here's the vocabulary words. Two angles share a common side are known as adjacent angles. Now, many years ago, they used to call them attached angles. So, depending on the question in Pearson, it could say adjacent, it could say attached. Okay. Also, these two words are very important. This word says that we have adjacent angles formed by intersecting lines are complementary. Now, this word complementary means adds to 90 degrees. You can have two angles and they add to 90. And before I forget, I'm going to let you know that there is a symbol. If we have two angles, and I'm going to put this line right here, and you see a box, the box indicates 90 degrees. The box indicates 90 degrees. Okay. Now, the second one you're going to have to know is called supplementary. Now, this means adds to 180. Now, I want to show you something. Notice that the word supplementary begins with S. That means straight. This angle and this angle along this straight line add to 180 degrees. Okay. Supplementary means you have a straight line. Okay? And the key is finding that straight line. Now, as I always tell you, I like to give you some steps. Whether you use them or not is up to you. But this is saying use the facts stated to draw a picture. If no picture is drawn, draw it. Also, when an equation, write an equation based upon the picture and the given information. And then we're going to do what we've been doing, solve equations. Now, let's look at this first picture. Now, they're going to help you. They are going to tell you two angles shown are supplementary. Okay? Well, that means straight. Well, look at this line. This is my straight line. The other is what creates the two angles. And supplementary means that I'm taking 38 degrees plus x equals 180 degrees. This word supplementary is 180. Well, how do we find x? Well, remember, this x is going to come down. What is going here and here is negative 38, negative 38, which means this and this will cancel out. I get 0. And this will then give me 142. Now be careful. This is degrees. Okay. Now we're going to get a little better. Okay. Here again. Find x. Okay. And that means I've got two answers for this one. The measure of the angle for the pair of supplementary angles. Supplementary means adds to 180. Well, here's my picture. That's my straight angle. I have x plus 8 plus 61 equals 180. Okay. What am I going to do? I have to combine terms. These two terms are going together. Okay. This will give me x plus 69 equals 180. This x equals 180. This x, which is what I want to find, means that I am going to have to take 69 and subtract 69 from both sides. This is going to cancel out. This will give me 111. Now that's my value for x. But I now have to find this part. 111 plus 8 is 119. 119 and 61 had better add to 180. This is my x. 119 is the supplementary angle to 61 degrees. 119 is the supplement of 61 degrees. Okay? Now, the next ones are going to get a little interesting. Okay? Again, straight angles. Okay, this problem is asking us to find A, B, C. Now, the first thing we're going to do is we are going to find C, which is right over here. Okay? That's where C is. But watch what happens. This is a straight line. $60 plus $50 plus C equals 180 degrees. 110 plus C is 180. What is C? C is 70 degrees. This piece here is 70 degrees. Now, how do we find A and B? Well, A is over here, okay? Now remember, we just found C, which is right here. This is 70 degrees. And we need to find B, which is over here. Well, here again, see this line? A plus 60 plus 50 equals 180 degrees. A plus 110 is 180. A is equal to 70 degrees. Now, I don't know if you realize it, but we have A and C are equal. They're known as vertical angles, but that's not what they're wanting us to do. They're wanting us to use supplementary. And then, how do we find B? Well, B is all of this stuff below. B plus 60 plus 70 is equal to 180. B plus 130 equals 180. B is equal to 50 degrees. We found A and B. Okay. Now, these are my story problems. Okay. Okay. They are using angles. Okay. Now, this is a perfect example of a story problem that uses angles. Okay. Now, this is translating. Okay. This is saying the measure of the angle X. Notice that word is 3 times the measure of angle Y. Okay, translate that sentence. The measure of angle X. So we're going to write X is, that's my equal sign. Now then, they tell me 3 times the measure of Y. This is 3Y. This is your translated sentence. Now notice I have 2 numbers. Part B is going to take the place of one of those letters, which means we're evaluating. It says find the measure of Y, which means that the 3Y side is staying. If is staying. If angle X, which is my yellow side, is 120 degrees. I'm going to divide by 3, which means that Y is 40. This one, a picture wasn't going to help you too much with. I don't have the words supplementary. I don't have the words adjacent. I don't have the words complementary. So I'm translating, okay? Now, the next questions are not going to be as nice as you would like. It's just the way it is, okay? Now, we're going to translate, okay? Now watch, they've given me variables. The number of bolts, B, is triple the number of washers. Okay. Translate the sentence. The number of bolts is the letter B. Is happens to be our equal sign. And then I have the phrase triple the number of washers. Well, this is 3W. Each part translates. Now notice I have 2 letters. One of those letters is going to be replaced by a number. Well, find the number of washers. Well, that means the W behind the 3 is staying. The bolts are 45. Divide by 3. W is equal to 15 washers. This is my answer. Okay. Well, here we go. Now, this one I've got 2 slides on, and you've got to watch what it's telling you. And you've also got to understand what this problem means in the stock market. It's telling us that Lena purchased X stocks at $35 per share. Remember, per is a word that means multiply. Okay. She sold the stock for $56, and there's our lovely word again, Notice there's our per. Per means multiply and has a profit of $546. Now, this one, translate this sentence. Now we're going to do it sentence by sentence. Lena purchased X shares of stock at $35 per share. That means we have 35X. That's what that first statement is meaning. Now, she sold the stock. Okay, here we go. $56 per share. Well, that is meaning 56X. But remember, she purchased them. In the stock market, you buy low, sell high, which means that in this problem, we are going to subtract what she paid for it from what she's getting because she's making a profit of $546. Now, I want to show you something. Do you see this as X? This equation could also have been written 56 minus 35, because this is what she sold minus what she bought, times X is equal to 546. This is what she's selling the stock for. This is what she bought stock for. We always subtract sell minus buy. But this is a better equation because I'm going to combine terms. 56 minus 35 is 21x is equal to 546. This is my equation. Now the last question is, how many shares of stock did she purchase? Which means we're taking 21x is equal to 546. Okay, $21 is the difference between what she bought the stock for and what she sold it for. And when I divide by 21, X is going to give me 26 shares. That's how much she bought it for. That's how much she bought it for. It's always what she sells minus what she bought. This is marketing. So keep that in mind. Okay, now this one's going to get a little more interesting. Now I want you to be careful with this one because it has two nouns. You're going to say, well, what two nouns? Lillian and Howard, two different people. Lillian and Howard. Now, if you'll notice, this problem does not have any variables, but I'm going to give you a little hint. Make L represent Lillian and H represent Howard. That's why it's called the two nouns. Now, that first sentence just tells me the two nouns. It's the second sentence Lillian has twice the number of bookmarks that Howard has. Then we have that lovely word, together. Together means I have to add. Together is an adding word. Together they have 30. Find how many bookmarks. Now notice they're only asking us for one now. Okay, let's work this. Lillian. Okay, that's the variable L. Has. That's what that equal sign means. Is, are, was, were. A linking verb is always equal. Now, twice is 2 times what Howard has. 2 times what Howard has. This is what the first sentence means. Lillian has, that's an equal sign, twice the number of bookmarks that Howard has. That's sentence number 1. Now, notice what we have again. Together, okay? Together means add. Well, if it means add, that's saying, and notice the word they, Lillian plus Howard have 30 bookmarks. They represents both people. It's the L and the H. That's what they means. Now, here's the funny part. I have this equation and I have this equation. Notice that this has L, this has L. In my next slide, I am going to take this second equation and replace that L plus H with 2H plus H equals 30. Well, let me show you again. Let's go to the next slide. Our first sentence gave us L is equal to 2H. Then we have L plus H is equal to 30. This L is going to be replaced. I am going to put where that H is, I am going to replace it with 2H plus H equals 30. 3H is equal to 30. Divide by 3. Now this is saying Harry has 10 bookmarks because H represents Harry. H represents Harry. But I want Lillian, which means now I go to this equation. L is equal to 2 times 10. 2 times 10, which means Lillian has 20 bookmarks. This is the start of what we call substitution. This one has two nouns. When I have two nouns, which are person, place, or thing, I then have to use combined terms, which is what I did right here. I had to take this 2H and replace it in the second equation with 2H. L becomes 2H. Now, if you have trouble with this, make sure that you ask me, because now we're going to finish up. These last couple of slides are going to deal with exponents, and most of you should be pretty familiar with these. This is known as your product rule. The reason it's product is between two exponents. Exponents is the A and the B. The base is the same. Well, that means I'm going to add the exponents. Well, this is 5 squared times 5 cubed. The product rule says this base and this base have to be the same number. Well, they are. They're both 5. So therefore, take 5, 2 plus 3 to give me 5 to the 5th power. I add the exponents. And kind of to make life interesting, this was 5 times 5 times, that's what that dot means, times 5 times, that's what that dot means, 5 times 5 times 5. How many 5s do I have? I have 5 of them. This was repeated multiplication. Remember that lovely stuff we did? We took an exponent, and 5 with the little 2 meant I had 2 5s. 5 with the 3 meant I had 3 5s. Well, 2 5s and 3 5s give me 5 5s. Okay? This is known as the product rule. But you've got to have the same base. If this was a 5 and a 2, can't do it. And we'll see that in a minute. Right here, they want you to write this product in exponent form. Well, I have a 4, I have a 3. X is down below. Now, this will give me the answer of x to the 7th power. If you need to confirm it, repeated multiplication is 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 4 x's. And then the dot, 3 more x's. How many do I have here? 7. Now be careful. This y has a 1. This is y to the 6th power. The bases are the same. Okay, this is my perfect example. See this 3? See this 2? in this problem, the bases of my exponents are not the same. So my answer is exactly what I have. This is going to become 3 to the 5th times 2 to the 4th. This is what it equals. The bases are not the same. I cannot take the 3 and the 2, the green 3 and the yellow 2, and multiply them together and then say 5 plus 4. No, 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 no. But look here. I have a 3 to the 3rd power. I have 3 to the 5th power, which means the same base, 3 plus 5 is 8. This is my answer. Okay. Now, this one. Okay. Notice that we are going to multiply the numerical coefficients. That means this 5 and this 3 are going to multiply together to give me 15. The numbers multiply. And then we are going to add the exponents of the common base. This is an A. I have 2 of them. This is an A. I have 4 of them. They are going to give me A to the 6th. The numbers multiply. The exponents, if the bases are the same, add the bases together. Now, this one. Here's my 8. Here's my 2. That number is going to give me 16. This is an A. This is an A, which means this is A to the 9th power. A3 times A6 gives me A to the 9th. Okay, here we go. 4, 5, 2. Numbers are multiplying. This will give me 40. 4 times 5 times 2. But here you got to be careful. I happen to have an A here, but I have another A way over here. This Y is going to come right here. I don't have anything to go with it. But this will give me A to the 6th. These 2 yellow terms both have a base of A. A4, A2 gives me A6. That is what is the second term. The Y3, it goes in the back. And notice alphabet. A comes before Y. So A6, Y3. Now, just to show you also, here again, watch out for the positive and negatives. 6, -3 is going here. Multiply -18. Now I have an X times X, which means I have X squared. There's 2 X's. Okay. Well, -8 negative 5. Now, the numbers are multiplying. This will give me a positive 4 multiplying. This will give me a positive 40. But notice, I have a X and I have a Y. They're not the same. But what letter comes first in the alphabet? X squared, Y cubed. This is my answer. Huh? Now, some vocabulary. We are going to be talking about polynomials. Poly means many. Nome means terms. A polynomial is many terms. That's what it means. Poly is many, nomial is terms. Now, polynomials are variable expressions that contain terms with only whole number exponents. And that's the key, whole number exponents. If you have a fraction exponent, it's not a polynomial. If you have a decimal exponent, it's not a polynomial. That's the definition. And no variables in the denominator. No variables in the denominator, which means I can't have a fraction with a letter in the denominator. That's not a polynomial. Now, if you look at these terms, a monomial is a one-term polynomial. And I gave you a series of examples. Negative 2a, a 5, a y, a 3x. These are monomials. Now, a binomial has two terms, but the key is it has two terms because it has a plus or a minus between two monomials. Okay, and then we have the trinomial, which can have plus and minus, a plus and minus, or it can have two minuses as well, or two pluses as well, but it is a three-term polynomial. Okay? Now, knowing these vocabulary words, it's asking you to identify. Okay? Identify means tell me what it is. Well, when I have a plus, this is known as a binomial. A binomial. 4x is a monomial. And down below, this is a trinomial. Okay, three terms. Bi is 2, because I got this plus in the middle. Now, monomial is 1. There's no plus or minus. The trinomial, notice, separated by pluses or minuses, I have 3 terms. Okay. Now, this is where it gets fun. You are now going to use polynomials, and what we're going to do is use the distributive property and then simplify, which means we combine terms. Now, the first thing we're going to do is distribute. Okay. Okay. Now, this is where you got to be careful. This parentheses, in front of this x4, I have a 1. This 2 is multiplying by 1 to give me 2. X2, x4 is x6. This 2 multiplies by a positive 3 to give me a positive 6. But notice, this has 2, this x has 1, which means this is x3. And then I have plus 5x to the 5th. Now, your final answer writes the polynomial in descending terms based upon the powers of x. So, your final answer will be 2x to the 6th plus 5x to the 5th plus 6x cubed. This is your final answer with descending terms. Okay. Now, again, distribute. This negative 3 is multiplying by 1, which means I have a negative 3, but I can't forget x to the 4th. This negative 3 is multiplying by a positive 5. This will give me a negative 15 x to the 5th. Now be real careful here. Negative 3. Okay. This negative 3 is multiplying by a negative 6 to give me positive 18 x to the 6th. Okay. Descending order, 18 x to the 6th minus 15 x to the 5th minus 3x to the 4th. We're putting them in descending. We're putting them in descending order. Okay. Now, distribute. I want you to know that this monomial is in the back. It is going to multiply each term here, which means we have 5 times 8 is 40, y cubed, plus 5 times 4 is 20, y squared, minus 3 times 5 is 15, y, and it's already in descending order. Now, this slide, okay, write the perimeter. Well, I hate to tell you that this x should be sitting right next to that box, and this 2x cubed should be sitting down there. Okay, for some reason it kind of shifted. Okay, but remember, perimeter means add all sides. This figure has 4 sides. So that means I have to know that over here is x squared, and up here is 2x cubed minus 3, which means I have x squared plus 2x cubed minus 1 plus x squared plus 2x cubed minus 1. I'm adding all sides. This is my x squareds. Now I got to be careful. This is 2 cubed and 2 cubed. And then I have the numbers. Well, to simplify, start with the highest power of x. Well, that means my green ones are going first. 2x cubed and 2x cubed give me 4x cubed, not 4x to the 6th. I'm adding the coefficients. Then I'm taking the yellow ones. X squared plus x squared is going to give me a positive 2x squared. And then I have the blue ones. The blue ones are going back here. A negative 1 and a negative 1 give me a negative 2. This is my answer. I am combining terms. The rules of exponents do not apply in perimeter. Okay? Now, this one. It's almost the same problem, except they are telling me to do something a little bit differently. They are asking me the area. Okay. This again is my x squared. This again is here. Okay. Now this one, area, means length times width. Thus, the rules of exponents come into play here. Okay. The reason is this is x squared times 2x cubed minus 1. You are distributing here. And the rules of exponents apply. 1x squared times 2x cubed is going to give me 2x to the 5th. 1x squared times a negative 1 is a negative x squared. This is my answer because I distribute and I use the rules of exponents. This 2 and this 3 are giving me the 5. I'm adding the exponents. Okay. Now, my last 2 slides. Now, notice they do not have a picture. Perimeter. we have a rectangle. The rectangle is this figure. Now, we want to simplify. Now, the length is here. This is 6x cubed minus 5x. This 2x squared is this side. But don't forget, perimeter means add all sides, which means this equation, perimeter, add all sides, which means 2x squared plus 6x cubed minus 5 minus 5x plus 2x squared plus 6x cubed minus 5x. This is my 2x squareds. That's this side and this side. This is my 6x cubed. This is my 6x cubed. This is all sides. Now, let's put them together. Combine terms. What is the highest power of x? Well, I have a 6x cubed here and a 6x cubed here. This will give me 12x cubed. Notice perimeter. I'm adding the coefficients. 2x squared is a positive 4x squared. And then I have a negative 5x and a negative 5x, which is negative 10x. Perimeter combines terms. It does not deal with exponents. Now, here, notice the change. Area. I have a rectangle. This is 6x cubed minus 5x. This side is 2x squared. Area equals length times width. So my area is, in parentheses, 6x cubed minus 5x. This is my width. Okay. This is where the rules of exponents come in. This 2 and this 6 are going to give me 12. Okay. Now, the exponents are adding. This 2 and this 3 are going to give me x to the 5th minus 2 times 5 is 10. Now I have 2 x's here, 1 x here, x cubed. This is my answer. Okay. This is my area. Now this ends chapter 3. Hopefully you enjoyed what we did.